Exploit the internet and the smartphone. I'm just checking time because this, the only thing this wonderful centre lacks is a clock. But the revolution, the third healthcare revolution is underway. And Jonathan and I have been influenced by a man called Manuel Castells, who doesn't write about healthcare. He writes about the Industrial Revolution, and he said the first Industrial Revolution was based in common sense, the steam engine and the spinning jenny. The second Industrial Revolution was based in science, computers, aeroplanes, that sort of thing. The third Industrial Revolution is based on the citizen, the knowledge, and the internet. And this is the internet. I'm technologically pretty hopeless. This is it. I was, in case Maureen thought I was dealing with my emails, I didn't do it, but I nearly bought the Gemba Walks. I could do it in the middle of the talk. This will be standard. The revolution comes out of the battle of the smartphone. And everyone will have these. They've decided. We're all going to... How many of you got a smartphone? Yeah. Well, how many don't have a smartphone? You will have in 3 years' time. They have decided. You know who they are? Who are they? Who are they? Vodafone, Nokia. No, they decided. Yeah, they've decided. And so things are. This is the. I've also been very influenced by the role of technology in culture change. And there's a great book called. It's got a very sort of tarty Oxford title called Medieval Technology and Social Change. It is an Oxford University Press book. It's very short. It's 3 lectures by Lynn White, who was Professor of History at Stanford. And he said that history is written by scribblers. It's all about, politics and laws, but actually technology changes society. But the people who did technology didn't write it down. You see, the manorial system, the major landholding system in Europe, was developed in the Middle Ages. But it wasn't that they had a government commission into landholding, or indeed randomized controlled trials and systematic reviews of different methods of landholding, and then they decided the manorial system was the best, so they set up regional training schemes and quality improvement schemes, and somebody invented the heavy plough. Because the light plough from the Mediterranean couldn't get through the soil of Germany and England. And when you got a heavy plough, you got to have 8 oxen. So the villager just had to, so the manorial system developed. Technology. Now we're seeing that also in healthcare. Technology like dialysis is changing culture. But this is the game changer here. So things are happening. The point of the third industrial revolution is that things are happening out there over which people in positions of authority, I'm director of the Right Care program in the English NHS, and it sounds a very important job, but it's out there, these things are happening. But we have to think about culture. Over the last, as I say, I've been at the systems business for a long time without much impact, but I think I will get my way, thanks to the bankers. By that I mean, we're now looking at program budgeting. So if you were all the respiratory people in England, including patient groups, I would tell you we're spending £5 billion a year on respiratory disease. I could tell you in every population where you live, in East Sussex it's 52 million, in Northamptonshire it's 62 million. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there is no more money. But did you know you were spending this money? And the answer is no, because we didn't tell you before. And can you tell me in Northamptonshire when you want £400,000 for more sleep apnea treatment, you can't find that in 62 million? And everyone in the room looks at you and nods and says, yeah, we can find that. So we're starting to look at ways in which the systems and program budgeting will come in. We'll speak about that later this morning. But culture, in the last 5 years, I got very interested in culture. And this is Edgar Schein is the guru of culture, writes very well. And the shared tacit assumption of a group, what it's like around here. And you know culture, one ward is different from another ward. And this is... I hope this is my free prototype of my glossary. I've got a glossary of of over 1,000 key healthcare terms like optimality, efficiency, productivity, quality, and value. And they're all available to you on the smartphone. You could get it now. And these are things I've been collecting. There are no words of my own. Well, there's maybe a couple of things where I couldn't find examples, but these are all things I've cut from books and journals over 40 years of a misspent youth. So culture. And leadership and a culture, what is the job of the leader? In my glossary, there are more words. I've got 20 definitions of leadership, and then I gave up. Wittgenstein said, when a word causes more confusion than clarity, you should stop using it, and that's probably the case with leadership. But there's several themes come out of all these examples of the meaning and use. One is leaders change the culture, managers work within it. Another is that leaders give people bad news and help them cope and adapt with that. So leadership and culture, you see, here's the bad news. If you're all the vision people, and I can, in the old days, you'd be, and you want to do something more for people with macular degeneration, then you bid for money, and with any luck, we take money from here and put it into there, and then it goes down. But that's not the way things are going to be, because our analysis of variation in the atlas here, well, if you want more money here, this is the place to start looking. And you really need Lucent as opposed to Avastin. What is the added value? And if you, well, you can look at other things. Glaucoma, we've introduced new referral guidelines for glaucoma. I'm not very sure what glaucoma is. I actually stopped the screening for glaucoma. I didn't let it in because people couldn't agree what glaucoma was. So are you really sure that's all high value money? And we produced an atlas of variation, and it was to change culture. Program budgeting changes culture. Young man said to me, a young chap colleague, he said, "Oh, they want more money for sleep apnea in Bradford." I said, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you what to do." He said, "What should I do? We don't have any more money." I said, "Well, you get the asthma boys and girls, and the COPD boys and girls, and the asthma boys and girls in the room, and lock the door." That changes the culture, I can tell you that. It's, and you see, the word culture is created by language. It's created by leaders. You'd follow Maureen anyway, wouldn't you? I mean, their personality, just the way she stands and she speaks, you know. But you also watch the language she used and how she used the language. That language is very important. And if you asked, India, why did I write India? I was meaning New Zealand there. I haven't quite dealt with the sleep yet. But I will, if the ash comes, of course, I'll be very familiar with New Zealand. The last time I went to a conference was in America. I got caught by the ash. I must be some sort of curse, some harbinger of volcanic eruption. So, but if you asked everyone to write down, and I've done this, what are all the clinicians to what's the difference between quality and value? I know they wouldn't write down. How can you run an organization if people don't use language in the same way? So the language of healthcare, and that's the glossary. We have to manage the language. We have to introduce people to the new language.